Happy Wednesday, everyone. We certainly have made some strides on further ensuring readers better prosperity through our considerations. We're reaching the heights of our space program. In Chapter 12 we return to Earth and begin again a road to greater achievement. He's Bill.
Thanks, Bethany. Let's go ahead and begin this section of an outline to achievement. Chapter 12, Week 5. Return back to Earth. Once the hype of our economic roller coaster comes to a close, and new doors open for future development, we weigh option, sooner or later returning back to Earth to deal with less profitable but more meaningful issues. We don't really have to explore where we hadn't been, and yet maybe we do. This force that pushes technology and theory to their limits, where the limits of the two are love. Business is a cold game where there is little room for love, and as far as our economic potential will take us, we will go or die trying. But the economic caste system limits our escape velocity and we return to Earth. Everything is no longer business, and love seeps in and finds a way where previously it had no bearing on decisions, and now it is paramount. Being where we have been, we can't live under certain conditions and try to make the world a more conducive environment for economic growth in others who may not have been as successful. Well, because everyone has a standard of living where a more beautiful environment brings comfort, even joy, while a less handsome environment brings discomfort, so much so that we can't sit still and have to concentrate on cleaning, pacing, chewing gum, or some other activity that takes our mind off substandard living. Back down on Earth learning new ways to handle human problems, we are completely out of our elements. Transforming what business we had to another is not as easy as it sounds all the time. The human condition becomes the focus, whereas before it was solely economic. There are certain situations that need closer attention, where analyzing statistics helps us use our knowledge of business to propose feasible solutions. Certain situations are very disturbing to us, which we notice when we look down from the stars. We see a lack of justice and equality, which can be from a number of factors, and a return on our investment which could always be improved, but, perhaps, the most concerning is the broken hearts from the loved ones that we allowed our careers to trump. The lack of justice and equality comes from either poor education, unemployment, or crime, as we are not sure what causes what or which is the former or the latter. As our product line is always new to those unfamiliar, the return on investment can always be increased. We must reinvest in the basics of our organization, developing further our products, funding future marketing strategies, and ensuring the product's availability on the market. As far as our broken hearts, there is not much we can do, but suggest that we all go to our homes and try to make up with our spouses and significant others, so that we can reduce the depression which comes along with emotional disappointment. Not much can mend a broken heart except a lot of begging and pleading, or accepting loss and singing the blues, because most likely we won't get them back. These situations should first be analyzed through statistics which reinforce what we see, so that we can weigh the probability of success and determine how we should attack the problems. For the lack of justice and equality, there are municipal reports that include education, unemployment, and crime reports, which give us a picture of what we look like on paper. From these reports we can determine which issues are more in need of our attention, and they tell us the location as well, so that we can attack problems where needed. The possible increase to our return on investment comes with new models that make living easier, finding and investing in untapped markets, and a boosted supply so that the demand doesn't outweigh the availability. As far as relationships go, we can only offer what little counseling we have received: happy wife, happy life, no finance, no romance, and no money, no honey. Not that money can fix all problems, but it is a start. So buy your daughters a new doll and your boys a bike, but whatever you do, don't forget to spend the much needed quality time, and hopefully they will come back around to loving us. After analyzing the statistics and seeing the problems on paper, we move on to solutions in an attempt to make our world a more livable environment. Since we can't determine if crime leads to unemployment and subpar education, unemployment leads to subpar education, and crime or subpar education leads to the other two, we will begin by reinforcing education. Promoting literacy, we will hire entrepreneurs and reinforce law as best as we may, knowing our efforts can never be exhausted. Increasing our return on investment, we will look at new business proposals where design teams will present new models, customize marketing strategies, and produce a sufficient number of products to meet the demand of customers. As far as the solution to love, there is none, so in your spare time just assist where you may in the 2024 literacy campaign. You can write a song for the Crimson Blues album, help edit the Memphis Love audiobook, or do what you can on the campaign for the 47th president. It is a third-party write-in candidate, but rest assured that your position under its administration is more prominent than under any others. When returning from Mars, or however far our economic caste allows us to go with the program we have instituted, we are reintroduced to the strange society where we initially analyzed the essence of our motion. Everyone reaches for the stars in different worlds, in different universes and dimensions, and we are just trying to make it to Mars, and they just morphed from a loophole in time. So, don't think we are being unrealistic, but it's not even an achievement, it's a foregone conclusion, so don't think we hadn't thought as much. There are situations which need attention, where statistics are analyzed so that we can move forward to a better tomorrow. The main mission is to feel more comfortable by improving our surroundings, where, even if we built the colony on Mars, sooner or later we would need drapes. As far as boosting our ROI, we just invest much more than 75% with traditional stocks, but highlight the less than 25% contrary. But with lost love, my grandmother always says, it rains on the just and unjust.
That concludes the information for this time. We have a final paper and exam due and held our last session on the 6th of July for consideration of final scores and rankings. If there are any questions, we will address them at this time and dismiss afterward. We wish you all the best whether or not it is reciprocated. We don't claim to be necessary to achieve, only optional for the betterment of society and the prosperity of our endeavors.